And we're live. What's up, guys? Evanaldo here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm not going to go super long today. I wanted to give you guys a live stream by popular demand. And yeah, let's get right into it. Don't want to waste your time too much here. Always appreciate you guys smashing the like button. Man, what a turn. We got a lot of people in the chat. So, what I'll say here is I think it's important to hold these levels. I don't think it's the absolute end of the world, contrary to what I just wrote in the title. And I'm just kidding. I mean, it's very important that you would hold 107, 108. I'm not the biggest person that's going to tell you if you dip down to 102 or 97, like someone said in the chat, that's the end of the world. I wait more for my indicators, but I do think it is important that you hold 107 here ultimately. And I think you might, but I could be wrong. I mean, I think in terms of funding fees, in terms of the amount of pain that's been felt, I think it's healthy to continue forward. I think fear and greed as well had kind of a higher low or double bottom type thing. So most signs point to more upward action, I would argue. Most signs do not point to a very premature end of this market and a slight new all-time high for Ethereum, leaving us on a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Most roads do not lead there. Right now we're at 38. This trade is over on BidFi. Am I nervous we may nuke down and get stopped out? Not really, because I've been playing the game a long time, but it can happen. Anything can happen. I guess I'll keep the trade open, even though it's only a little bit in the green right now. And if you want more info on that, I guess check out the Discord down below for the stop loss and take profit, all that. But yeah, hopefully it ends up being a winner. And yeah, so let's look here. Definitely does not look too good on the damn 6-day. This is well, yeah, that's the thing here, guys. It's like that was a major buy signal here. This would be a very extended cycle if it went like that. I don't think that's gonna happen. Or if it's like this, then yeah, you're falling off a cliff, unfortunately. If it's like that, these were in these were in bear market years that we're not quite there yet, unless you want to be a huge freaking proponent of diminished returns. So yeah, we do have that. I would argue it potentially could have played out, especially if we can hold, where we are right now. I think is ultimately a kind of important thing to do. We want to do that, and I think we might. Probably a lot of liquidity would be around here that hopefully could, bring this price up. But yeah, let me go through the chat a little bit. What's up, Johnny M? What's up, Carlton? What's up, short call? Let's see. If you don't hold right here where we're at, you're probably going to 102. I don't think it's the absolute end of the world if you're going to 102, because that is still a big place. But yeah, I mean, once you lose 100K, it does get more. Like, the odds get higher and higher that, not too bueno in the future, but we'll see. We'll see what's happening. You know, futures that'll top by 130K year end. People have been talking about that. Like, honestly, I hate to say it, but once you get into more of riskier stuff like that, the more and more of that, people borrowing against Bitcoin, going 2x leverage, that's more your case for bull market over. But hopefully, I don't know if you're there yet. Let's see. ETH will be okay. Yeah, hope so, Peter. I think we should. Too much manipulation. Well, yeah, I mean, there's that potential. I saw Ben Cowan's latest video. He's talking about one potential for alts to come up and another potential for there to be no altcoin season. I think the end of QT potentially in December could help that, but it's weird. I mean, I would hope that gets factored in before QT actually ends a bit in price and helps us out. We are jumping a little bit right now, which is good. What is the confirmation? Yeah, Ty, I should charge you to look at this confirmation, but I would argue that once you get it'd be kind of ironic. It's not printing yet, luckily. But I would argue once you kind of confirm the 3-week trigger wave, which is getting close to printing here, if we do jump and see the rest of October be bullish, this could take a while to print and confirm. It may not be until December. But that would be, especially in Heiken Ashy candles, if you confirm that, then yeah, that'd be a big deal for the bear case. I do think that 10, this takes 10 more days to confirm here, so I do think in the potentially the next 10 days this could jump up enough to not even confirm a red hike in Ashi. And, you know, this would be kind of nail in the coffin, I think, for Ethereum. I personally would think, you know, it's kind of more hopium if you're still thinking, you know, you're going to make new highs after that confirms, but you know, stranger things have happened. I think what we're hoping for is some green dots, like on the weekly, on the 2 week, to give us our last leg up in this bull run. And I think as well, what we're really hoping for is the 2 day trigger to, you know, print in and kind of jump up here, which is really good. What's up, Scootland? So yeah, good question. Kier Noga. So yeah. And, you know, if we look at, let's see, you know, if we look at trigger wave for me here, so there's some potential. We are jumping, and I just want to look at Bitcoin here. So, yeah, I mean, let me just see. From the low we saw, I don't know if you'd take out that low. You could. It's a head and shoulders, which is probably my least favorite pattern. That's almost a bull pattern a lot, but yeah. So, yeah, it could be 107. I get, yeah, I mean, that's always because everybody says, like, yeah, lose 107, then just loses 107, then jumps up. So, you know, loses 107 slightly, and then jumps up. So, there's that possibility. But, no, I would keep some confidence that you should, you know, try to jump from there. And right there, I mean, that's a big 0.238 right there, where you just almost, yeah, just about right there. Yeah, right there at that point, yeah. So that's what I would say there. That's what I'd be looking at a little bit there. ETH versus Bitcoin. I think this should continue to jump generally, especially with that trigger wave on the 3-day. It should be okay. That would strengthen the bullish case. I want to look at fear and greed briefly here. Sucks away, yeah. So this is just following the S&P 500, which I guess is good. Not good that it's going down, but it's good that it's, like, you know, not crashing too much harder than it. NEO shares. I haven't heard anyone talk about that in a while. Found out about that company from this, like, Uber driver. Yeah, I think he's from when he said to buy it or get in, it's down incrementally, but yeah, it's most stock picks from, you know. So yeah, let's see, buy orders in place. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's that. Let's see. Let's look at fear and greed. I want to look at fear and greed quickly because we're way overdue to go into, like, extreme greed, you know. And I just want to look at, so that was 31. You know, it still is like double bottom territory for fear and greed, which I don't think you're going to go into extreme greed again. I think it's more likely that you would jump up to extreme. I don't think you would go to extreme fear right away. I think you jump up to extreme greed before then. Generally, when you go to extreme greed and then you don't bounce well from there, that's when you're finally entered the bear market, which is possible. If you do go into extreme fear, then the fear mongers probably are right finally. But I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we're going to jump, which is, you know, my optimism here. Let's look at crypto funding. Funding rates, let's see there. So those are pretty healthy generally. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to jump, but those are pretty healthy. And to that point, you know, trigger waves and such. Yeah. Let's see, but okay, more luck. I like the optimism. Yeah, that's what I would be looking at, Peter. Definitely for the target on ETH BTC. Big sellers are waking up. Yeah, maybe they are. Let's look at, so total 3. So the thing is, this This is kind of a wild. I mean, this just gets wild because you're already like well above your low of June, or July or whatever, up 24%. Yeah, you're at the altcoin Bitcoin evaluations from like almost June of 23, which are low but not the worst of the worst, which I guess is good for your altcoin market. But when you look at some of your individual alts, you know, they're more depressing. So yeah, and then when you look at others versus Bitcoin, let's take a look at, because I think the important place to hold is for this is kind of where we are right now. And then you potentially could jump higher here into the end of this year. It does look good on some of these higher time frames. It's looked like it's wanted to jump for a while though, and it's never really happened or played out. Now you got a damn monthly yellow X. That could be a bottom signal though. 2 month is very close to bringing an anchor wave. That could take its time though. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, others versus Ethereum, big bottom there, and then you recovered very quickly, I should say, as well. Can you continue forward? I think there's a decent probability of that, you know, especially with that 2 week, you know, kind of similar to that trigger wave up, you know, or that area up, you know what I mean? So it should jump, especially November, December. That's what we should be looking at. I wanted to also, this one's interesting. So it was a bottom in, I think, very beginning of November or late October. I don't know if the exact day really matters, but around that area. So, you know, it could be like that. Drop down, it could be like that. I mean, this one went even lower. That's the thing too. In 2020, this one went even lower. So, but maybe it's more like this cycle. You know what I mean? Because a lot of this has looked way more like 2017 into 2018. So, you know, it's hard to say. We're jumping right now, and I like that, which I like. So I think that's good. A little bit of fear there, but we're jumping. So yeah. Yeah, that jump right there. I mean, ETH has been bleeding against Bitcoin theoretically still from August, you know, 26, but it's quite a while actually now. Well, a month, 2 months. But it's been jumping since this low, which I think it will continue to jump. DXY is interesting. I feel like it won't have the strength that it had here, which actually may help out alts a little bit. So yeah, a couple other things that I'm looking at. I mean, Polygon's interesting. You know, major depressor. Kind of made a lower low just to knock everybody out, probably on every exchange. But trigger wave forming here. I have no idea what this will do, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you double into the end of the year. So yeah. So let's take a look. SEI, yeah, those are two newer ones. Hopefully you make a higher low here. I don't have too much of an opinion on this, but I think there's upside potential. I mean, there's upside potential for a lot of things. It doesn't mean they're going to go up. This is still in a reverse head and shoulders. This could eventually jump up. I don't know if I'm really the biggest fan of either of those projects. I don't know why Algorand comes to mind. But, you know, I think that higher lows here. Higher lows in Algo, potentially jumping up trigger waves and such. So there's potential. Does it mean it'll happen? Maybe, you know. You had this jump here at the end of last year. I mean, and then the end of this year. So sometimes 3 strikes you're out, but you know the volatility on some of these is crazy. Could it go up to $1? Maybe. I wouldn't bet the farm on it. Everybody's favorite meme coin, hybrid, real coin. I don't know. Yeah, at this point, it's a meme coin, but I don't know. Maybe a jump here, 40 cents. I think this you're kind of looking for $1, but stranger things have happened. The other thing too, let's look at the one coin in the world that's, you know, actually been doing well. And does anyone know exactly why this has jumped up so much? Close to all-time highs, if that even was the all-time high in 21. I think it was. At least on the Coinbase chart, that's all that matters. But yeah, interesting here. Couple things I've been looking at, just general, you know, more slow-moving instruments. Berkshire Hathaway versus S&P 500. Generally, this thing outperforms S&P 500. I mean, '08 was a big spike, and then not a very good 15 years, 17 years after, or whatever, 20, or no, not 20 years since that. But yeah, that plays down. I mean, I would think that Berkshire, under different management, I would think that Berkshire would show some strength against S&P 500 in potentially 2026 on this trigger wave there. I was looking at it against gold too, and it had a very, I'm looking for more of a jump here. And gold is on a tear, I'll tell you. But if you can get back down to these areas, I mean, generally this was the 80s and 90s where everything outperformed gold. And then you bled like 80%, but, generally when you get shy of a recessionary areas or whatever, generally, generally when you have a correction this big, if it's like that, you should see a jump. I don't know, though. Could be different this time. I feel like gold is like one of those things where just everyone is talking about it and it just needs to come down, but we'll see. I believe this is the one Crypto Face was talking about, right? I don't wanna, it's not the right one. I don't wanna, because, it could be, I don't know. It's hard to say with this, man. I mean, there's a lot of, the thing with this is it's like, so, yeah, I mean, the next play, I could see this, 30, 24, maybe even 50. Hard to say. It's too new. What's up, XRP Queen? Been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Let's look at XRP, actually. Bitcoin pairs hit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that could have been the bottom, or at least we're close to it, probably, especially with the end of QT coming, if history tells us anything. Let's take a look. Yeah, it is morning for me, too. It's almost 2 a.m. where I am, but, yeah. XRP, let me actually just look at a chart with some SR. Right there. I think XRP's got a decent shot at maybe $4, maybe even more, but $4 would be a cool goal by the end of this year. So yeah, right to that point right there. That's the thing too with like XRP. It's just the thing too is like we gotta always humble ourselves with any of these coins because it's like those Bitcoin evaluations, man. And to be fair, that is from like 2017, down 96%. Well, it's back up a lot now, but what it was a point triple, yeah, down 90, still down 90. So not too bueno overall, but yeah. Same dominance, yeah. I mean, it's not always, you got to think too, like by time that QT ending stuff could get factored in pretty quickly. We want it to get factored in quickly so things pump. Believe me, you want that to get in you want that to start getting factored into price before it happens. Believe me. And it would be pretty, by the time it's official, which will probably be December or January, that could mark the end. That could definitely mark the end. That could be a sell the news. Especially if things really pump up between now and then, which they might, and you might hold 108K here. So yeah, I'm using Market Cipher, bro, and Spider Lines. Links down below for Market Cipher if you're interested, and some SR points and fib levels and Heikin-Ashi candles. I have a course that goes over all of this. If you're interested, the links down below. Everything is logical, guarantees solidity from past may not be repeated. Yeah. Yeah. The problem is it's like the illogical. There's a lot of different illogical scenarios too. So yeah. But yeah, it's true. 777. Where did the 777 come from in terms of, obviously 777 means you win on the slot machine or whatever. But what is that from? Is that like, does anyone know? It just means jackpot. Now we're up $1,000 on this, so I mean, yeah, we're recovering. Hopefully, I should end the stream relatively soon on a good note before it just all falls off a cliff. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think it will, but no, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay, especially with fear and greed here. Like I showed you guys earlier, I just want to do like, I don't know, Bitcoin, fear and greed, and it might be different on, you know, different things other than the CME one, you know, CMC, excuse me, Coin Market Cap. So yeah, I mean, there is that. Let's see if this one loads. Interesting, yeah. So not extreme fear, but yeah. That was extreme, yeah. I mean, extreme greed right there. If we look at the last year, you did get kind of high in July, but yeah, I mean, this one, I like the Coin Market Cap one better. I'm looking for something at like, I'm looking at real high, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at like 80 at least. Yeah, 80, that's what I'm looking for. And you do 10 at, well, I mean, 2019, yeah, I mean, 2 years in between there. I guess it's possible you may never hit it for another few years, but yeah, I don't think that's too likely. The thing too, I just want to look at this. Like, when was, yeah, and that wasn't even the damn low. It was November, but yeah, because that was extreme, or that was extreme fear right there, January 22, and they got it right for the most part. I think we did pump a little bit after that, but you know, in terms of the macro, they got it right around there. Yeah, let's see. Slots, yeah. A lot of people were talking about Tau. It's an AI one. I think there's some decent fundamentals behind it, but as you guys know, that doesn't always, you know, doesn't always play out the best. It is a newer one as well. I do think it may be able to get up to 800, but we'll see. You know what I wanted to look at? You know, kind of some of the best technology in this market, and this is that high there, December 24. I don't know. Can you rally back up to those highs? I think you can, but right now it's a little bit, you know what I mean? That weekly was good back there. Shout out to Nightshade who showed me that. That was a good trade. I mean, I don't know if it outperformed ETH or anything, but 63% up is not bad. That 3 week looks bad. But some of these look okay there. I want to look at TRX versus Ethereum. You may be starting a little bit more something against ETH. You outperformed ETH for a while here, which is good generally. What's up, Johnny? Yeah, all right, index spot. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, especially on CMC. March 24, November, taste of euphoria compared to 21, but they have, yeah, they really were not really with. For all coins, they were taste. For Bitcoin, kind of the same. You know, they did do very well. We're continuing to jump right now, which is a pleasant surprise. Well, I expected us to, but you know, it does look with these blood diamonds and such. It does look a little bit. No, but I think we should jump. I mean, let's you know, there's going to be always cases to be made for bullish, bearish case, all that crap. But I'll go with the bullish case right now. I'll probably stay on a little bit longer, guys. There's just not, like, I'm tired. It's late. I'll be on Paul Barron tomorrow. You know, I'll definitely be giving you more content this month, definitely, or the next 30 days, I should say. Because, you know, I got a good setup right now, and I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, I think you wiped out enough leverage, all that crap. And you should be able to keep going. You know, the thing too is, like, you know, if you just want one signal to sell, it's probably when we confirm a damn, you know, red dot on Ethereum here, you know. That's what I would argue. That's what I would say. So we'll see. We'll definitely have to see. But yeah, I appreciate you on Mice. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, check out the pinned chat in the description. BloFin, 20% off your fees for life. So yeah, done pretty well on BloFin. BYDFI is good. It's down below as well. Check out those, especially for 20% of your fees for life with my link. In addition, if you deposit at least $100 on BloFin or BYDFI, make sure you open a support ticket with your UID or your email, and we will give you 1 free month in Aldo Empire VIP Discord. So yeah, check it out. We got Nightshade in there, K-Mac, a lot of good people. Let's jump up there. So yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what I'm looking at here. I want to look at gold, USD. Oh, you know what? Shout out to Tom Crown. I was in Ben Cowan's space with him, and he was looking at, he's saying how Bitcoin Euro was interesting because it still hasn't, like, made a new all-time high since since this area, so this gives me a little bit of hope. The damn euro's done like well compared to this, compared to the dollar. So, you know, I would be, so you're at 93K right now for the euro. It's a real currency. No, I'm just kidding, but I mean, where could this end up? Let's see. You know, let's just see our. I've never really charted it against the euro. I never charts against the world reserve currency, but you know, I would say, what would this equate to? 130 euros. It could. That'd probably equate to what, 150K. That'd be kind of the high point of what I would hope for. In addition, you could just do basic fibs, you know, to look right here in the same level right there. Nah, yeah, I think that level is. What is that, a jump from where we are right now? About 30%. And what would that be in the US dollar if we were to go? Yeah, okay, it's only actually 140. I mean, there's Evan Aldo's market cycle top, market cycle top guess, 140K. There you go. And now let's say we go up to that 140. Let's say we get up to that 140K, and let's say we do a 70% correction. And that's just, okay, that's 40K. 34 would still be a damn 75% correction. Now, people would argue it should be less than last time, and I kind of agree. But last time, if you factor in inflation, it really was almost like 80%. So, yeah, there is that potential. There is that potential. The 42 is big. It's 69. 42 could be it, or 48. I don't know. Nobody knows, but yeah. Let's actually, okay, good point, Johnny. We'll look at that. Trump, Putin's, oh God. Great time to enter a trade, yeah. Okay, so 10-year yield down. Mortgage rates still kind of, obviously, I mean, they're down a little bit, but I mean, they're still above what they were there. I think these will generally kind of come down, continue to come down. But the thing here is, like, if you look at the 30-year, I mean, that's up a lot from freaking December of 24, or October of 24, or September, excuse me. So, okay, so that's big news. Let's look at CNBC to give us some probably slightly skewed news. Yeah. We'll see what happens here. I don't imagine it'll come out too badly, but who knows? I don't think they're going to end that damn war anytime soon, but hopefully Trump will be able to figure something out. I mean, he's only been in office not even a year, or not, yeah, not even a year now, so yeah. Yeah, what's up, Aquaman? I think I'm gonna get going, guys. It's been on about a half hour. There's not too much else to really talk about at the moment. You know, we could look at the. Keep in mind too, Berkshire Hathaway's like half bonds right now, so we could look at the TLT, and I want to look at. That looks really good on the 2-month. So that could be. I mean, if you do, especially if you think we're going into a recession next year, a TLT is going to be some good crap. You know what I mean? Now, this just generally bleeds against gold, but you do have the bull div there on the 2-month. I know this is the 2-month large time frame, so I'm just curious, when does this outperform gold? Yeah, this area. Look, the beginning of your damn, like, well, actually, no, it bleeds again. Yeah, it's not even, this is garbage compared to during your crash, during your bad year. I think you kind of plot this against it in, well, let's see. 2014 it did. Well, 2018 probably not so much. Actually, a little bit in the bear market years for crypto. And then let's see, 22 down because they were raising rates. So, yeah. So, yeah. No, I've never heard of that one. We could look at it. I mean, I don't care. Oh, I think I've actually heard of this, but it's not. Yeah, I've looked at it before. It could jump here. It's hard to say, man. For all I know, it could go up, you know. It could go back to these highs. It's very hard to say. High risk, high reward potential. Probably just high risk. if we've learned anything about what altcoins have done in the past few years, but you know, I mean, that's life. Trigger wave forming there. So yeah, I think ETH has got some potential here. You could try, like, How are these low time frames looking? Yeah, money flow coming up there. Maybe a jump up. This could be a bottom. This could be a bottom. I'm excited about that. So, anyway, guys, low oil is killing Putin. Interesting. I forget how that works. Oh yeah, because doesn't he sell it or whatever? Yeah, they have got their. Yeah, this has been so boring though. I mean, it's still above what it was not even, what, 6 months ago or whatever. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get going. Smash the like button. Appreciate you guys. If you guys are interested in trading, check out BloFin. The link is in the pinned chat. BYDFI great as well. Both of those exchanges, 20% for fees for life. There's also a deposit bonus. I think that's ending pretty soon on BYDFI. That's really good. They did something because of the Binance crash or the market crash in general. So check those out if you guys are interested. Always appreciate you guys smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel.